I cannot believe it. We are into the regular season, was last week. We are into the playoffs right now. Thank you guys for bearing with us the entire season. It flies by. This is our final Super 10 of the season, and all 10 of these teams are heading to the playoffs, which start Friday night. Let's jump in. We had some shakeups this week. Ponte Vedra down to number 10. They were up at a high of 3 a few weeks ago, but they've lost 2 in a row. 26-21 to Creekside last week, but hey, a chance at redemption. They host Creekside in the first round of the playoffs on Friday night. Should be a good one there. Nease came from the dead. They were in 11th place in the region standings heading into a game against Ponte Vedra 2 weeks ago. They beat Ponte Vedra. They beat Chacoy Creek 47-27 to clinch a district championship. They are in the postseason at 7-3. They host Niceville in the first round on Friday night. Great finish for the Panthers and Coach Colin Drafts. Number 8, Creekside, another great story at the end of the regular season. They entered last week in the standings on the outside of that playoff bubble. A big win, a must-win over Ponte Vedra, 26-21, gets them into the playoffs. And they got a short ride on Friday night to go back to Ponte Vedra. Let's call it part 2 on Friday night in the first round of those Region 1-4S playoffs. Number 7, Trinity Christian. In the playoffs, they beat Specially Fit Academy last week. They're off this week before hosting University Christian in the first round of the playoffs a week from Friday night. Riverside, they've been steady Eddie all season long. They beat Ribault last week. Such a difference a year makes. They needed to beat Ribault last year in Week 11 to make the playoffs. This year, Week 11, already decided they're the number 2 seed in Region 1-2M. They host Episcopal on Friday night. Number 5, Mandarin. A loss last week to Bartram Trail, 24-14. The tough luck of that. They're a number 5 seed. They go on the road to unbeaten Winter Park on Friday night, the first round of those Metro playoffs. That is tough. Bartram Trail, a little bit of a back and forth for Bartram. Last week, they beat Mandarin 24-14. I'll probably hurt them in the process because they have to go out to Navarre in the first round of the playoffs. A loss last week would have probably kept them at home. So Bartram on the road this week. Range steady all season long. They host Jackson in the first round of the playoffs. They're up to number 3. Great season for Donovan Maslin and company. Bradford, redemption last week against Swanee. They ended their perfect regular season in Week 11 last year. No doubt this year. Bradford 35-3. 10-0, their first unbeaten season since 1990. They host Atlantic on Friday night. And number 1, not a surprise, St. Augustine, all season long, has just validated what we've thought about them. 41-6 over Palatka. They're the number 1 seed in all of the region, or all of the 3S playoffs. They are in the postseason at home on Friday night against Middleburg, and that is going to be a good one. For more coverage on our playoffs, go to News4JAX.com. Alessandra's not done with sports yet. She's got a little bit more for you right now. Alessandra?